Hey everyone, what's going on? Thank you for taking your own time out to check out this movie review. And also, while you are here, please press that red subscribe button down below. Subscribe to the channel so I can see you again here next time. And I've also got to give a big thank you to the awesome folks over at Shudder for this exclusive early screener of a movie that's going to be premiering on their platform on March 31st. And it's directed by Jennifer Reeder, and that is Night's End. So, Night's End, I'd only seen a poster and a synopsis of this before going into the actual movie, so I didn't know a lot about it. But I do know that the writer of this movie is a guy called Brett Nevu, if I pronounce that name correctly. And yeah, it really got me intrigued, and I always love a good kind of paranormal, kind of spirit entity kind of based movie. So, let's get into the cast of Night's End. The cast includes Geno Walker, Felonious, Munk, Lawrence Grimm, Michael Shannon, Kate Arrington, Daniel Kyri, Morgan S. Reesh, and Theo, Germaine. And what is Night's End all about? Well, the plot of Night's End is all around an anxious shut-in moves into a haunted apartment, hiring a stranger to perform an exorcism, which quickly turns a horrific turn. So what's my quick thoughts on Night's End? Well, I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I've got to give a big mention to Geno Walker, who plays Ken Barber, our main character and our anxious shut-in character in this movie. I thought he was terrific and gave a great performance, and you really bought into this performance of him being an anxious, really just dwindling down in his mind and dwindling in his own kind of self-thoughts and being this kind of recluse in this apartment. I was buying into every scene that this character was given, and this deep delve into his own personal story. I very much enjoyed that. And I've also got to give a big shout out, and I've got the cinematographer's name right here. It's Christopher Reggiano, if I pronounce that correctly. The cinematography in this is awesome. I really love the use of this kind of haunted apartment and this figure of a ghost played by Morgan S. Reesh, if I pronounce that correctly. And I love that this shadowy figure is portrayed in some of the lighter scenes and some of the darker scenes, sometimes very subtly and sometimes in your face, present, that it knows that this is where it wants you to look. But I've also got to praise the cinematography, because each wide shot that is shown in this movie, you're looking purposely in the background after something happens at the beginning of this movie. In the background, you're constantly looking every single frame to be, okay, well, is this out of place to the last one? And I've really got to praise the writing, directing, and the cinematography of that, because it really kind of keeps you on your toes and invested to be like, wow, well, what is going to happen to our character next? The next character I also want to mention is, of course, the biggest name in here, I would probably say, is Michael Shannon. And I will say that he's not in this movie very long. He plays a character called Isaac Dees. But I will say Michael Shannon, as always, is terrific. I love Michael Shannon, and I can't really say that he falters in this movie. So if you've come to the movie alone for that name, then you're definitely going to have a great time for sure. So the other cast, as I mentioned before, Felonious, Munk plays a character called Terry Gibson, who is our main character Ken Barber's best friend. And yeah, their relationship between the two was really pleasant to see, and I like the chemistry between them both. Definitely some of the comedic lines or more of the serious tones. You could definitely buy in that these two were great friends. So yeah, definitely got to give props to those. And another props I've got to give to is to Kate Arrington, who plays Kelsey Dees, who is the ex-wife of Ken Barber. And yeah, I thought that her relationship with Michael Shannon was, they kind of played off each other, and you could kind of see why those two were also together, while also she is the ex-wife of our main character, Ken Barber. And again, the other kind of mentions I've got to give is to the rest of the cast, who plays Roberta, Wellwood, Lyden Knight, Dark Corners by Daniel Kyri, of course Lawrence Grimm as Colin Albertson. So yeah, overall cast was solid. The music choices in this and the accompanying score in this movie, yeah, was really well done and really helped kind of build this atmosphere. Because one thing I also really appreciate is that this movie is shot in this apartment block that apparently only has 2 apartments in it, but one is empty, and the only one person in it is of course in their own apartment. But there's only them who have the keys. And as the movie plays out and we get knocks on the door on this apartment block, you're thinking, well, how the hell has someone gotten in? There's only one person that lives there. There's only one person who has the keys. So there's really this kind of suspense, really thought-building movie. And I will say, such a simple premise, but I think it's executed perfectly. I had vibes here of a movie called The Host. I'm not saying that it's exactly like that for sure, because it isn't, but I had similar vibes to that. But that is a great thing, because they definitely utilize maybe like Zoom calls or Skype or whatever software that was used in here. I felt that was really effective and helped building the tension, while also not having other characters like visiting our main character. They're all there just virtually, so you could kind of buy in. And I definitely think, again, Geno Walker's performance as Ken Barber really helps sell you into the relationships that he has with these people, but also becoming this recluse and also feeling like he's losing his mind, and he's got all this stuff going on in his own apartment where he's trying to kind of start this own new life. And I also really love the aspect of this guy is kind of doing videos, and I believe he's doing them on YouTube, but they don't specifically say YouTube, but I like the fact that he's doing these kind of self-help videos, and also mentions a little bit about YouTube, about like subscribers or ad revenue, etc. And in the sense, I could definitely relate with that, of course, doing YouTube myself, and you guys tuning in and being subscribers or non-subscribers, you know, I can kind of get that sort of ability. So I definitely had some kind of relatability in that factor, and yeah, I really appreciated that. Yeah, and if I had any negatives for the movie, I would say that there's maybe one or two odd comedy lines thrown here. I didn't necessarily think that needed to be in here. And the only other thing is, I think there was one or two times maximum where I felt like the music choice could have been slightly different to what was happening in the scene, because I didn't feel like it was getting as effective as the rest of it was with this tension building. But besides that, I don't really have many gripes with this movie. I think that it was a very pleasant surprise, and one that I didn't expect anything going into it, because I always try to keep open-minded. But I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I would even say that if you don't have a Shudder account, worst case, take out a free trial and watch Night's End. This was honestly a great movie. So with that in mind, my overall rating for Night's End is an 8 out of 10, which is a B- on my ranking system. So if you've enjoyed this review, please give it a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.